Hey guys, and welcome back to TFD. Today I'm going to show you how to fix a busted anti-reverse on your spinning reel. Now there are two kinds of issues that I've encountered when it comes to the anti-reverse switch not latching. And I happen to have an example of each in front of me. Let's get down to it. Alright guys, just a couple of tips before we get into disassembling these. One thing that I like to do when working with small parts is to use some packing tape. I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Oh, that's obnoxious. I'm going to take a piece, you're going to loop it around like this, and you're just going to set it somewhere. And you can put your small parts on there, they're not going to go anywhere. If you have a magnet tray, that works even better, but not all your small parts are metal. Another good tip is when you take these apart, if you're not entirely sure you're going to remember where everything goes, snap a picture with your phone. That way you can reference that to reassemble. You don't want to have any leftover parts. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just take this drag right off. Loosen it all the way, pull it right off. Pull your spool off, and that's what it looks like on the inside of your spool. You got a little gear, you got a little O-ring, you got a nut, and you got a stopper screw. So you're going to take your gear and your O-ring, and they slide right off. We'll put those right on our tape. And then you're going to take off your screw, your stopper screw. You won't be able to take your nut off without taking that screw off. That's the whole point of that screw. So again, right on the tape. And this actually has an extra stopper washer in here that goes around the nut. It's kind of just to keep it from slipping. It's a nice added feature. And that's already pretty loose. Then you just unscrew that nut. And this should slide off. There we go. Alright, so this is what we're looking at now. So, you can see, you can flip the thing. It's still not working. Alright, so this is a more common issue from what I've found. What you have right here, I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if that's focusing or not. You have this little tiny spring in here, and it looks like it's supposed to connect to this little point right here that sticks off there. So this little tiny spring has come off of here, or it's broken, looks a little short. Now what you can do is you can just rethread that on there. Sometimes you'll open this up and your spring won't even be there, and you can take just a click pen and take the spring out of that and use that if it'll fit. So we're going to go ahead and thread this back on. I'm using a little push pin, try to find that loop. This could take a few tries, but oh nope, first try. We're on. If I can just slide her down. Let's see. Come on, there we go. There it is. And that should do it. That should really that should be the only thing that, there it is. Flip it. Goes both ways. Flip it. There you go. That's your first fix. Just the spring. Let's reassemble this. First we're going to put on this. There it is. And then our nut. Now when you put on your nut, if you're not too mechanically familiar, there's a beveled edge and a flat edge. Your beveled edge is always going to face you. If you put it on the other way and you put that screw stopper on there, it's gonna slide right off. It's not gonna work. So that's gonna hold that nut in place. keep it from backing out on you. And then the gear goes back on. And your O-ring. I'm not sure if this is ceramic or plastic or what it is, but it goes back on there. Then your spool goes on, and you're done. The second issue that you can come across while dealing with an anti-reverse problem is a little more hard to diagnose, but once you get it open, you'll see, you'll see exactly what's going on here. Same thing, unscrew your spool, take it off, another washer, another gear, they slide off onto your tape. You got another stopper screw, you take that guy out, boop, you got your nut. There is another screw in here. There's going to be a weight underneath this. You don't need to take that off. At least I think there's going to be a weight underneath this. That slides right off. Yeah, there's a weight right there. That's what that screw is for. Okay, so this is a little more of a complex assembly here. Okay, you can see that this switch actually does work. It's turning, and when you flip the switch, this little hammer piece comes down and catches on this little gear, but it still doesn't hold. So your issue here, you can take this right off. Careful, there's a lot of little extra parts that float around in here. There's a little O-ring there that almost came off, which we want to leave that on there. So this is our issue. It's this little latching gear, and inside of it, oh, there's another little O-ring I'm going to be careful of. So that's going to go on top. Got to remember where these pieces go. So this bushing inside of here, this brightly colored silver part, is slipping off of this toothed part. So what you want to do is take this out. Hopefully it comes out easy. Alright. So we're going to take this out, I'm going to coat this with JB Weld, and slide it back in there and let it set for a few hours, really for 24 hours, and that'll do it. So let me do that, and we'll get back to you. One thing I want to point out about doing this is that you do not need a lot, because you do not want this getting in places that it shouldn't be. And you'll screw your rod up forever if it does. Okay, now we have that back in there. We're going to let that dry separately, and we will reassemble it all later, and it'll work. It's not too hard, right? Alright guys, that'll do it. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please leave a like and subscribe if you liked what you saw so you don't miss anything. And thanks for watching. See you on the next one.